Hi, it's Chalky from 100% NUFC. So Lee earlier in the day has done the whiteboard. Over to you, Lee.
Got the tune will be up first, and then we'll have a look at the home side, Crystal Palace, next. Before we do that, let's have a look at the league table. Now, the league table, it's very, very tight after Saturday's result, and you could see that if Newcastle were to win by 2 clear goals, it would lift them to a very healthy 11th position, although it still will be tight. Newcastle's goal difference is so much better than everybody else's, and I also think it's important that we don't get beat. Right, so back to the video. This is the Newcastle lineup, so I'm going to jump straight here. I haven't got Kennedy made yet, and I also haven't got Slimani or Dubrovnik made yet, but that is in the pipeline through the week. So I think you will go with Carl Dollar. There is talk, will he go with a new signing, Martin Dubrovnik? I think because it's so short notice, I don't think he'll go straight in the lineup. If it have another week's training and the game against Man United, he's got a better chance of starting there. I think Mankiw will come in this time instead of DeAndre Edlin. Lascelles picked themselves, Clark. I don't think Mbemba will play, and I think it'll be Paul Dummett left back. I think Mo Diame will continue his fine form. I think you'll go with Shelvey this time. I do think Mikel Merino will be on the bench. Shelvey was on the bench last time, but I think Shelvey will start here. Murphy on the right, I think he will come back in and start. Kennedy to continue his good form because he was brilliant midweek. Perez switching the formation, going to a 10, and I do think there'll be Hostler up top. I'm going to go straight here to Hostler Mato. Now, we all know that Hostler isn't the greatest quality striker in the world, but you've got to get behind him. We're called supporters for a reason. You go and support your striker. Now, do I think that he's the best striker that Newcastle have ever had? No, but if you're going to get on his case and you're going to be criticising him in the stadium, I know it's Selhurst Park, but if you're going to be criticising, the away fans won't be, because they'll be cheering anyways, but the home fans in particular, if you're going to be on his case next game, you know, for me that's not supporting. Get behind the lads, you know. I know he's not the best, I'm not sticking up for him, but there's what good does it do getting onto someone's player's back? That's what I'm trying to get at. So for me, get behind him. I think he will start. I think Perez will then support him in the number 10 as well, because Perez presses really hard. I'd be quite surprised if he does go the 2 up top. It will surprise me. There is talk about Slimani starting, but I just don't think Slimani will feature at all. I think it's too soon for him as well. I like to see Murphy start, because we know that Jacob Murphy, since the turn of the year, has been great. You know, he's an old-fashioned winger. He'll just run at your right, well, at your left back, which will be Patrick Van Aanholt. So I think that'll be good. I think Kennedy, yes, we know he's great out there at the moment, but you know, he was absolutely fantastic. He looks just assured on the ball. He just looks comfortable. He looks like he could turn. He doesn't panic. And we're seeing Kennedy floating around in this kind of area as well. We've seen it when he hit the woodwork as well. We've seen him come back out wide. We've seen him run there as well. So I don't think he'll stay out on that left as frequently as what that position might suggest. I think he will then come in as well. Now, again, just coming off Kennedy, can't just continue. Mo Diame, for me, he's January's player of the month. What a turnaround he has had. He's another one that players fans get on his back, and you've got to say, since the Stoke game, he's been absolutely fantastic. That new role that he's got is just protecting the defence. His interceptions and just getting his foot in and tackling is absolutely fantastic, and he's undroppable. I mean, if you said that to me early on the season, you'd think, give over, Ali, you're having a laugh, but you cannot drop Mo Diame at the moment. He's just unreal. And I'd like to see Shelvey partner alongside him, because I think Mikel Merino has lost his place in the lineup because his form's slightly dipped. I don't think it has drastically. But I think it will go Shelvey. I don't want to say Hayden and Diame. Anyways, I think Diame's ahead of Hayden. But I like to say Shelvey play there, because we know that Shelvey can then feed the balls through Hostler. And maybe, you know, getting Shelvey further on. I think against Chelsea, when he was pushing on, he was so much better. Let's continue if he does start. If it is Mikel Merino as well, just Mikel Merino can bring the ball forward. So I'm not too fussed, but I would like to see Shelvey just ahead of Mikel Merino in this game. Lascelles and Clark just got to be wary of the likes of Benteke, so one pick up, one cover behind, but then you've also got to be very, very careful of Wilfred Zaha. So that's why I think, not that I want, but I think you'll go with Mankiw to go with Wilfred Zaha. Wilfred Zaha, if he does play up top, likes to hover in this kind of area and then start coming in. That's where Zaha likes to play. So again, you're probably going to have to ask these two, and probably Shelvey, to just keep an eye out what's going on behind you, because there's no shadow of a doubt Wilfred Zaha can play for, no disrespect to Palace fans, he could play again for the top 4. I think he's gone on and kicked on to another level again. Probably we might say double up, you know. Again, it's one we've got to watch out for. We'll come on to Zaha in the moment, but going backwards, I think we'll be okay with Paul Dummett over there as well. Darlow, for me, I think his position really is under threat. He needs a good game, you know, because we know we've got the keeper coming into Bruvnak. We know that Rob Elliott is practically almost fit now, so it'll be interesting to see how we get on there. Let's get over to Crystal Palace. Okay, you're right. So before we talk about Palace, remember we have our bet offers through BetSafe if you want to obviously try and win some cash. Big shout out to Jim Gregory, who contacted us and said thank you. He put on a 20 quid bet for Newcastle to draw midweek. It was I can't remember, Jim. It was, but he won something like £35 back, but also he's still got an extra 20 quid for his double bonus as well, which he signed up for. So well done, Jim. So he's got 20 quid free bet this week and he's in pocket. So have a look at that. That's in the link in the description if you want to have a bet on the game. Now this is what I think Palace will go with. Hennessy, Fosu-Mensah, Tompkins, Sakho, Van Aanholt, Townsend, Cabaye, Milivojevic. I think I've spelt that wrong. Apologise, Palace fans. MacArthur, Zaha and Benteke. Now, we do know that they have several of injuries. If you've seen our previous videos as well, you'll all know that now. So, you know, it's easy to point out with Zaha, but we'll come to him in a moment. But I don't think they're very strong there. I think they're weak. I think Speroni's weak. I think Hennessy's weak. I even think that Steve Mandanda, who was there last season, is weak. I just think there's a mistake in him all the time. If he shoot low, I think he struggled big time. So if we can get shot, pepper his goal, shoot low, you know, we're talking the likes of Kennedy who likes a shot, you know, if we can try and get Hoslu, you know, if you try and get Shelby on the ball as well, even Perez, because Perez barely shoots nowadays. And then you've got a problem over here. Fosu-Mensah is traditionally not really a right back as well. I don't think he will bomb on as much at home because you've got Townsend in front. Now, he will want to impress. There's no shadow of a doubt about it. Since he's gone to Palace, he hasn't really had the opportunity to show us Newcastle fans again that I've went on to bigger and better things, which he hasn't, to be fair. But I think if he is fit, there is some talk that he's a massive doubt for the game. But I think if he's fit, he plays. We know that Townsend will come in as well, so he'll predominantly come in and cut in on his left flank as well with his left foot. And then the other man alongside him, Yohan Cabaye, who for me I don't think he's a player that he once was. Ever since he's went to Paris, his career's kind of went a little bit low, hasn't really kicked on to that next level, hasn't got the legs as such as well, but he's still got the technical ability just to play a clever pass. He still has it in his locker. Milivojevic, I know I've spelled that wrong, he'll take the penalties. MacArthur will probably play out of position at left wing because of Zaha, but then again, if when Palace don't have the ball, you might see Zaha come over here to have a 5 in midfield when they don't have the ball and just leave Benteke up top, and then maybe even switch that. You could see Zaha going out here and then making Townsend in here a 4-3-3. So they do have a few options in midfield, Crystal Palace, and I think that's a area where you can target. This is an area as well. I think that's where we can target because I don't think they're very strong, as well as the goalkeeper as well. Now, how do you stop him? As I've touched upon when I was talking about the tune just before, you probably have to go and ask someone to man mark, or maybe like some more Diarmi and follow him or something like that, and maybe wherever he runs, a runner will then double up. But that, again, if you're doubling up, you're going to have to make sure that the next man, whoever's like 10 yards square him or whatever, is marked up and he's not being let loose free, because it has happened. I remember that happening in Burnley away this season. Now, you know, he's hit and miss, isn't he, Christian Benteke? If he plays and he's on form, he looks like an absolutely world-class player. If he doesn't look up for it, he looks sulky, he barely gets the ball. You know, we've seen with the carry-on with these two, with the penalty early on the season. But, you know, Roy Hodgson has changed the side since he's come in. Palace looks so much better. But if you get balls up, he can chest it. He is very, very strong. He's clever. He's great at doing that. And then he can turn. We know he can turn and shoot as well. Not the quickest in the world, but he'll want crosses from Townsend and MacArthur without a shadow of a doubt as well. Also, you'll see Patrick Van Aanholt doing the overlap. I don't think Fosu-Mensah will as much. Now, Sakho, he either has a world-class game or he'll give you a chance. So, get on him. See, for me, if Hoslu's going to start, I would put Hoslu on Sakho, because Tompkins is your old-fashioned centre-back, kick it out, whereas Sakho will give you a chance. He'll play with the ball a little bit. You'll bring it out as well. So it's an interesting one. I think there will be goals in it. A lot of people are saying there won't be, but I've gone for a 2-2 draw. I've put that on with the bet with BetSafe as well. So I've gone for that as well. Sharky, back to you, mate.
So yeah, that was just the thought of Lee, the whiteboard. And now, what would you change? Are you happy with his formation? What players would you have had on the team? Let us know down below in the comments. I'll see you all later.